What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Author's Corner. Today, I got a special guest, another one of our authors who just released an amazing book. What's up, my guy?
What's going on, Kelly?
Real quick, tell the people a little bit about who you are, and then we're going to talk about the book just a little bit.
Otis Gatlin. Um, I've worked in the mortgage business since lending business, last mortgage business since '98. Um, got into mortgages in the early 2000s when everybody was getting a mortgage, and so started underwriting around 2000, and then been doing it on and off after the crash in 2007, 2008. Got laid off, company went out of business, then got back in around 2009 and got out again in 2013. Got back in 20, what did I say? Around 2018 and got back out in 2019. And then when COVID hit, got back in. So I've been in and out of the mortgage business for the last 24 years,
Wow.
underwriting mortgages, being a mortgage counselor, doing quality control for mortgages. And people have always told me and come to me about things about mortgages. So my wife has always said I need to get people to pay for information that I give. So that's what led me to the book. And that's what led me talking to you.
Dope. Dope. So, how did you get into mortgages and wanting to be a loan officer and an underwriter and all stuff? Like, how did that start?
So me and my first corporate job was at HSBC or HSBC. I was in their retail division. Got transferred to the mortgage division because they were doing a lot of uh, business at the time. This is like '99, maybe 2000. Just internally transferred, and it was subprime lending back then. Got trained for like 3 months.
Wow.
Did that for like 2 years. Got recruited to another mortgage company, another subprime mortgage company, paying me almost double what I was making initially. Was there for 4 years, then got laid off in 2007. Then 2009 got back in, and when I got back in 2009, I got my FHA certification,
Mm.
which was a big thing. Um, and when I got that in 2009, the thing about that certification is it travels with you to whatever lender you go to, so you never lose the certification. So once you get it through the government, through HUD, you never lose it unless you do something fraudulent or something like that. So, and then between the time of being in and out of underwriting, I was a mortgage counselor for a nonprofit. And so it just, because I got that certification since 2009, I've always been recruited to stay in that particular uh, mode of lending in the mortgage part.
Mhm.
Um, so and then when COVID hit, I was getting bombarded with recruiters because
Mhm.
real estate was just going bonkers. And so I just stayed in the business, dude. It just a lot of people have got out. A lot of people I started with loved working in the mortgage business, love it. Um, but it's a feast or famine business. So they can't deal with the instability with it. And so they get out, but they always stay in contact with me. So
Mhm.
um, when I decided to write the book, I got so much response from all my mortgage people I used to be working with and who want to know how the business is right now, because they love it, but they just can't deal with the instability of it. And so I've been fortunate to stay in the business
Mhm.
up to this point, and it's been a blessing. Um, but it also has been, a nice amount of stress as well. So that's kind of how I got in there, and it's just through good relationships, good managers, uh, working with good people, being a good person, and being knowledgeable of how to do things correctly. So that's kind of how I got in, wanted to do it, and then stayed in.
Gotcha. So what makes it so stressful? Like what brings the ups and downs with mortgage lending?
Well, you got people who are dealing with their most important asset, their home.
Mhm.
So everybody's situation is different.
Right.
If they a good borrower, medium risk, low risk, everybody's situation is different. And you have to be able to determine that this person is going to make a payment on time for 30 years. It's a big commitment.
Yeah.
So if you're going to make that determination, you got people from all walks of life, people who work in Broadway, who work on plays, who travel for a living, seniors who are looking to downgrade, new homeowners, existing homeowners, second home investments. And a lot of times, every situation has to be looked individually. Um, People, credit is one thing, but also the other thing is being able to determine if they have the proper down payment. And on top of that, being able to meet the customer service goals, you have to do it with quality as well. So every mortgage lending, bank lending company has a audit department, internal audit department, investors inquiring about things. They have all these audits that take place internally before the loan is even a payment is made. So you have external pressures from your salespeople who want to get the borrower closed, internal pressures from your management and internal quality to make sure that you're getting a quality loan with a quality borrower and that you're getting the proper documentation needed to actually make sure that this is a sound investment. And so you got certain people who are more conservative, you got certain people who are, more liberal when it comes to certain things. So that's what makes it a little hard because everybody got a risk tolerance. What
Mm,
may be risky to me may not be risky to you.
that's good. So what makes you stick with it? Like what makes you keep coming back even if you take these breaks? Or is it your gift, your passion? What is it? What makes you stick with it?
It's a passion because when you see people able to sign documents to get into their first home, you know, um, the months, years leading up to that, um, and the satisfaction that you get of them being a first time home buyer or even an immigrant. Like I give you one example. I worked at a lender. Borrower came from Haiti through the earthquake. Came here. They were making $20 an hour. They were at a meat packing plant, working as immigrants in a meat packing plant, making $20 an hour after 10 years at a job.
Wow.
They saved $37,000.
Wow.
They're not even American citizens. They bought their first home and they were in an earthquake in Haiti 10 years ago.
Wow.
And they were working in a meat packing plant. That's the American dream.
Right.
Ain't that the American dream?
For sure. Yeah.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, save your money, do what you need to do, and you get into a self where you can build wealth for your family. You know, and so we have permanent residents, non-permanent residents who are looking to buy homes, who's been looking to buy homes for a very long time. So it's that part keeps you good, and it's so many um, people who just don't know about buying a house. It's so intimidating.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to declutter that intimidation. You
Hmm.
know, man, I don't want to be contacted to a house. What if my toilet go bad? What if my roof go bad? What if you got all those things that can go wrong in a house. You can't call a landlord.
Right.
So being able to declutter and demystify home ownership on the positive and the negative, um, it's always good. But it makes you think too. Real estate control everything. In my opinion,
Hmm.
if real estate going down, everybody more of going down.
I
You
agree.
know, Home Depot not making money on refrigerators, Lowe's not making money, realtors not making money. If your job is bad or you lose your job and you can't pay your mortgage, your neighborhood goes bad with one foreclosure, it's a multiple effect. So it's very important. So I look at it as something like we have to make sure that people are educated. And because we have to make sure people are educated, being in the business, continuing the education, which is what you get being in the business, and being able to understand where the business is going in terms of for consumers and future home buyers is very important because that drives everything. That drives a lot for wealth.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's Dennis Haley. I am the author of the playbook, The Art of Dreaming. Just want to say a special thank you to Kelly Cole and the Publishing Advantage Group team. Man, they were with me from day one until the time I finished, and still with me to this day. What a blessing to have them be with me and to walk me through this journey and to be a part of this journey. They have been nothing but class acts, and they know what they're talking about. And just again, it is a blessing to be a part of this team and for them to guide me down the path to success. So thank you for everything that you have done. I look forward to many more projects with you guys and continue to be a blessing to many. Thank you.
That's good, man. So, what are five things you would say, or at five things you would give a new home buyer, like someone who's interested in buying their first home? What are five things you would tell them to do to prepare for that journey?
Man, the first thing I would say, the first and the second would be save your money. Number one, I don't care if it's minimum wage, $10 a month. And it's not the amount, it's the habit. Developing saving habits. You got to save. If you don't save your money as a homeowner, you will not, the likelihood of you being a homeowner is very small.
Mhm.
Also, you have to keep your credit right. You got to make your payments on time. Um, live below your means. There's so many people I see that don't live below their means. They
Mhm.
extend themselves via credit card and live your life below your means so you have enough what we call disposable income. Save your money. Number three, keep your credit intact. Number four, be in an industry that can pay you well.
What are
You
some of
know,
those industries?
I mean, it could be a teacher. It
Okay.
could be a person working on the railroad. It could be a fireman, a policeman.
Mhm.
It could be a financial professional. It could be a business owner, right?
Mhm.
You have to be in a situation where you have a livable wage. If you have a livable wage and you can afford to live in a middle class, upper middle class, or working class area,
Mhm.
you can be a homeowner. You know, it's not by osmosis. What I mean by that, you can start at a starter home and build your way back up. It happens all the time with Americans, the American dream. So you buy a house when you and your wife, you got one kid, then you get three kids. Well, you got to upgrade, and that happens through stages of life. By the time you reach your mid 40s, you probably want to be, stable and dialing it back. And I would say the fifth thing is, um, uh, I would say the fifth thing is you have to be able to adjust. You know, um, what I mean by that is you got to understand when you first bought your house that when you buy your next one, it's probably going to be different. You know what I'm saying? With the information and documentation you needed back then or less thereof, you may not need that or you may need more of it now.
Mhm.
So you got to be able to adjust to the new market, you know, with price, housing affordability, mortgage guidelines, you know, um, ways that they count your income. You got to be able to adjust to that because when most people get in the house, they in it for 4 or 5 years. They don't even think about qualifying for a mortgage.
Mhm.
When I put in the solutions for the book, in the end, I say get mortgage ready first of all, and
Mhm.
stay mortgage ready. You got to stay mortgage ready because if you want to get that retirement home or that second home in Florida or California or, wherever, you got to stay mortgage ready. And that's the thing. So I would say the fifth thing is be able to adjust.
So what's mortgage ready? How do you stay mortgage ready?
So mortgage ready is defined by Freddie Mac is someone with a 680 FICO score, less 25% or less debt ratio, no foreclosures or bankruptcies in the last 7 years. That's what mortgage ready means. There are 3 million African-American mortgage ready borrowers right now.
So
3 million mortgage ready African-Americans in this country right now. So if we were able to get 5%, 1% per year of those mortgage ready African-Americans to purchase homes in the next 7 years, which would bring us to the 2030 decade, we have a much bigger share of home ownership in the black community.
So if they're ready, why aren't they buying houses?
Education, number one. The other thing, Kelly, is fear.
Yep.
When I was a mortgage counselor in 2007, I used to have Black single women come in, great job, good at savings, good. I mean, boom, check all the boxes. Get them qualified, get them ready. Don't call back, don't do nothing. It could be fear.
Yeah.
It could be fear. So it's education, number one, getting over that apprehension of being able to buy a home and being able to maintain that home. Number three, marketing, meaning that one-on-ones, webinars, home buying seminars, getting people ready, and two, on the personal level, people are not honest about their financial situation.
Yeah, I'm sure.
How much money you make? Why make this? No, how much money you make?
Right.
How much money you spend? Let me see those 60 days of bank statements to see you got Starbucks every Friday, every other day. So you have to have an honest assessment of your financial situation if you're serious. Where's your money going? If you make a lot of money, okay, great. Are you spending on your car note? So it's those type of things that education, apprehension, outreach, and we need more people in this industry customer faces who look like us. If it's Latino, Asian, we need more individuals in those communities who look like them and us, so we can identify and say, this is something that you can do. You're wasting your money paying rent because rent is going through the roof right now.
Bruh. I love it because I'm a
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But man, when I think about it, man, I just wish, one of the things, like you said, education, like I wish I was just taught younger. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I wish I learned about real estate when I was younger. I would own a lot more, but I just didn't have a clue, man. I didn't have no clue about investing, buying my first home, none of that. But that one deal, my first deal, bro, that was it for me.
Yeah. That's the thing. Is like look, it's not a living for everybody. What I mean by that, everybody can't be a real estate investor. I don't want everybody to be a real estate investor. Right?
Right.
But I want everybody who want to be a homeowner to be a homeowner. You know what I'm saying? And part of it is growing up around in a homeowner.
Yeah.
Growing up in a home.
Yeah.
Owning a house. That's part of it, seeing it and emphasizing it. Like you said, education. Financial literacy is big. But as I put in the book, financial literacy is only mandated in 25 states in the United States. So half the country is not even mandated to get financial literacy in our schools and in our children.
Wow.
So that starts on the formal education front.
Wow.
And then and most of that is about student loans.
Yeah.
And so on the personal front, okay, let's find, because you got to be able to buy a house. Because the thing is, you have to teach your kids first I would say saving.
Yep.
If you're not saving as
Yep.
a parent and y'all living check to check and they see y'all living check to check, how are you going to teach your kids about saving? So it's just what you see with your parents, what you see around you,
Yeah.
and then what you're being taught when you leave your parents.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, nobody, like I said, it just wasn't a thing. My dad, they own houses, they own, we own where we live on my
Yeah.
dad's side, but my mom's side was a lifelong renter. They just rent
Yeah.
and they never even tried. But even like, seeing my dad and them buy their first home on Walla, it seemed like such a huge thing to accomplish. Like we never even talked about it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like it was something that he never broke down. Like, yo, this is how you buy a house and things like that. So I had no clue that I could be an investor. But when you think about it, bro, one of my mortgages, bro, is less than what a lot of my family are paying in rent.
I believe it.
And that's what's crazy is like, yo, you can get a mortgage for half. Like my first deal, this gonna trip a lot of people out who read. My first deal, it was for two houses, bro.
Okay.
A 3-bedroom, 2-bath brick, a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, half brick, and 4 acres of land.
Wow.
130K. You know what my mortgage was before I refi?
Probably like 800.
$800, bro.
$800.
800. 800, bro. Bro, it's crazy. We ain't gotta go down that road. But anyway, let's stick with the book. So you said you wrote the book. You want to help with this housing crisis. How do we solve this housing crisis in the U.S.?
Unfortunately, it's going to require federal intervention
Mm-hmm.
at this point. We have a housing shortage. The 2010s were the worst decade for building houses in our country. So population growth has outpaced housing growth. And so one of the reasons we have been built because we haven't emphasized that. And so we're building about 1 million units a year now, I believe in 2022, 2023, but the demand is outpacing the supply. And so the way we fix that is, number one, we got to build more houses. So the way we do that is we have to make housing availability of housing cost cheaper. Fortune magazine says the estimated to build a house in the United States is $329,000.
Right.
That's unsustainable. I don't know how you cut it.
Yeah.
So you're gonna need the biggest cost associated with building new housing is wood, obviously, because wood is the main ingredient, concrete. So it's going to require, just on the building front, more, let's say the federal government buys wood and supply it or demand and wholesale prices and pass that savings on to consumers through builders. So we got one part of that. The other part is regulation. The Home Builders Association estimates $93,000 is spent on regulation per house.
Wow.
So when the house gets built, $93,000 of that price is regulation.
Wow.
So we got a regulation cost problem. Nothing wrong with regulation. We got a supply shortage problem. We got a supply increase problem. The other thing is you have now financial firms buying bulk houses in groups. So now you got a situation when they're buying because they know the shortage exists. So these corporations are buying out houses in blocks so there can even be more of a shortage. And so there's some pending legislation around that. I don't see that being able to happen really quickly. But what we can do on the local level is going to require lowering our regulation costs, also incentivizing cities and towns to put starter homes in our communities, 200 to 250 range.
Yeah.
It's going to require some tax incentive. That's just on the building front. On the lending front, I put some proposals that will need more. There's a down payment assistance, that legislation that's been pending in Congress that would give first-time home buyers, first-time generation home buyers $25,000 in down payment assistance.
Wow.
So they can use it for the down payment. So if we don't fix the cost, we can at least address it on the down payment. So there's legislation that says, okay, we can give you $25,000 for a first-time home buyer. What that means, first-time home buyer is a person who has not bought a house in 3 years. So $25,000 down payment for first-time and first-generation home buyers. So those are pending legislation because the free market is not going to work to keep it affordable. Like I tell people, we complain about the cost of housing, right? We complain everything is too high, it's a shortage. But when you sell your house, Kelly, you're not selling it below market value.
Nope.
Hi, I'm Monty Sanders, first-time author. My book, The Power of You versus You, Aligning Your Mind, Body, and Spirit to Discover and Fulfill Your Purpose. I wouldn't have been able to get this done without the Publishing Advantage Group. Those guys have been tremendous throughout the entire process. I would like to thank Kelly, who really allowed me to text him and my family to text him throughout this whole process, sometimes late at night, sometimes early in the morning. Brother, I appreciate you. Anitra, I wouldn't have been able to do this without you as well. I know you were helping me out, but my God, it's like we became family along the way. And my man, Keon, thank you for answering every last one of our emails. As you know, being a first-time author, we had a lot of questions. So I'd like to thank you guys, and I wish you much success. Who knew Amazon's bestseller list? First time. The Power of You versus You. Take care.
Absolutely not. None of them. I'm not
So
selling my house.
I tell people, it's always good, but when you selling, you're not selling for below market value. You want top dollar.
Yeah. 100%.
So if I'm a seller, if I've been bought my house, I need to be able to get max dollars for when I get my new house or when I would ever want to downgrade. So we can't ask homeowners to sell their homes below the asking price or what it's worth, because no one's going to do it. So the way we do it is we have to introduce more options to first-time home buyers, whether it's down payment assistance, lowering the cost of housing, lowering the cost of regulation. And so those are the things we'll need to do. And it's going to require some federal intervention. And what you can personally do is, I say, you can vote for the people who care about housing. And you can also, again, stay mortgage ready. So knowing where this housing market is going, don't delay. Don't delay.
Go now. Yeah. So, question. So, if the average cost to build a house is $320,000, what would it take for somebody to qualify to get a $320,000 house?
So you're gonna have to put, if you're gonna do minimum 3.5% down, you're looking at 3.5% of that 330,000. So 10% of 330 is 33,000. 5%, half of that is what, 16.5?
Yeah.
So you're looking at a minimum you'll need is 15 grand for today's housing market. If you're buying a new house, 15 grand. So that can come in the form of, like I said, down payment assistance, or you just got to save. And the reason I say don't delay, the National Association of Realtors, they did a survey of new home buyers. The average time to save for a house was 1 to 3 years. So the longer you delay, when you decide to buy, you're going to take 1 to 3 years just to decide, and it can go up to 6 years for some. So if you continue to put money aside, if you say, okay, I need at least $15,000 to at least buy a house, so that's at least $1,000 a month over at least a 1 year period. Let's put the tax refund money in there, right? So let's throw that in there. So you need, maybe of your own money, $12,000. So if you're going to do $1,000 over 12 months saving, or $500 over 2 years, over 24 months, that's what you're going to need to get a house, just for the down payment. If you're a veteran, you don't need anything. You just it's a no down payment. If you want to live in the rural areas, when I say rural, you can do it in the rural area. There's no down payment, but you'll be in a very remote rural area. And some of that works for people, but if you just want to be in the suburbs or a city, you will need to look at least $15,000 to be safe.
How much do they need to make per month to be able to afford it and sustain it? What do you look for?
I would say you need to make $72,000 a year, which is $6,000 a month.
Okay.
That's a pretty even number.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So you need to hit, if it's two of y'all, both of y'all need to make 40 to 45,000 a year. That's 80 grand to 90 grand a year for two people making 40 to 45,000 dollars a year. And I think that's feasible for a 2-income household. If it's just you and you single by yourself, you need to make around $72,000 a year just to get in the game.
And they need a 680 credit score, right?
Yeah.
And their DTI needs to be what?
I would say under 50. So the way you would do that is your DTI needs to be under 50. That means your debt to income ratio. So if you make $6,000 a month, your debts, mortgage payment, student loans, car loans, credit cards cannot exceed $3,000.
Got it. Mm-hmm. That's doable. Like you said, it's just the education.
I tell people mortgage is nothing but math. That's all it is. It's math.
Yeah.
A mortgage is a risk based on math.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is.
Good stuff. All right, bro. We're gonna wrap this up. So tell the people where they can get the book. You got any book signings or any of that coming up?
I don't have one scheduled, but we're gonna start doing some promotion, starting with you. I'm meeting individually people to do some book signings. I haven't done a lot of press, so I'm gonna probably start doing press in the next week, and then once I do that, and I would like to probably start talking with some home buyer seminars to do some book signings. My local library is going to be buying the book, so I'm going to be in communication with them for doing maybe a book signing there as well. So we're just getting started, and I wanted to have my first talk with you because you're the one convinced me to do a book like this, and I do appreciate you pushing me to do a book that I thought like ain't nobody gonna hear this book. Ain't nobody wanna know about this book. And I do appreciate that. So I want to make sure that my first interview about this book was with you, because if it wasn't for you pushing me in August of last year, I definitely wouldn't have made this happen. I got some ideas for some new books. No. So I appreciate you've ignited a part of my brain that I didn't know existed. So yes. What's been
the feedback? What's been the feedback? What's been the response you got?
Mostly congratulatory. Mm-hmm. I don't think if people people buy books, they don't read them right away.
Right.
So it's been congratulatory, and it's been like, how did you do this? That's literally been like, how did you do this? Working a job, 9 to 5, 2 kids, wife, exercise 4 to 5 days a week, talk to people, talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors, do your housely duty. Like, how did you do all this? And the biggest thing I tell people, you gotta be consistent. That was the lesson. Nobody wants to sit and write, because it would take me 2 to 3 hours to write every time I wrote. Mm-hmm. So that's the biggest feedback I've gotten. Happy, but more like what you said, like, yeah, this is needed. Like, wow, this is really, really needed. I didn't think I would need something like this. People who have been out the business, like I said earlier, trying to get back in or just trying to know how things work. Like, wow, like this is what, so I've got some feedback from that. Like, how did you do it? And man, I need to revisit this because I was used to working a business, or I work in a business. One guy I know bought 2 books.
Wow.
Because he needed, and he needed somebody else needed. So it's been pretty much like, how did you do it? And this is very much needed. So I'm very curious to see, as the time goes on, how people are going to continue to respond to it and get educated.
That's good. I remember you being shocked at how much feedback, like how much people interacted when you made the first Facebook post, right?
Yeah, I was like, that was probably the most response I've gotten from any Facebook post ever. Um, People I know, people I ain't talked to, or even just like the post. Like people I haven't said anything to, talked to in years, liking the post. I'm like, who like the post? Or just respond. And still, even the little book signing I did with my friend, my relative friend, got a lot of response on that. And I'm getting text messages and inboxes like, okay, I want mine signed and this and that. It's just been, on like 2 Facebook posts. So I'm just like amazed at how people have responded. And you know what it also tells me? A lot of people want to write books. Like my former pastors responded, right? Please go see Kelly Cole, please. Because that's like, it seems to me like a lot of people want to write books than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
That's what really shocked me. I'm like, a lot of people want to write books.
Yeah, man.
So that shocked me as well. And they was just asking me how I did it. I just say, look, you gotta be consistent. That's the hardest thing, because it's easy to procrastinate because you gotta write for 2-3 hours. Nobody want to do that.
Yeah.
So
Now we'll actually interview anybody you get that don't want to write it. We'll interview them and write it. Now they'll pay a
yes,
little bit more, but we'll do that.
right. And I started to do that, and then I was like, you know what? I need to do this myself because I got so many thoughts, and knowing what I know, like
Yeah.
I told my wife, I put everything I knew about the mortgage business in this book.
Yeah.
Everything I put everything is like I left nothing on, like no subject matter untouched. That like I put everything, every situation in this book, and I learned so much about myself and just the business. And I just put everything I know in this book. And I just told my wife, if it does well, doesn't do well, I'm just happy I was able to put everything I know up to the time I finished in this book. And I was just so proud of the fact that I was able to do that.
So last question, man. What was it like working with us, and would you recommend others work with us to get their book done?
I do recommend working with you all. I highly recommend it. Um, the infrastructure is there. I think that's what really shocked me. The infrastructure, the book, brother, the book cover. I told you exactly what I wanted. I said I want a chalkboard with some chalk, and I was thinking of some cartoonish. And when he came back with that cover, mine was officially blown.
No.
The infrastructure, the editing, the formatting, the patience, the me, because the people I'm like, dude, I did at least 3 to 4 re-edits after I finished.
Mm-hmm.
And re-edit, send me the format. Re-edit, send me the format. So it happened like three times. And I got a little bit of typos in there that I overlooked, but I was like, how did I miss that? But most of like all 99.99% of the book, I thought I was done, but the edits and re-edits and the final product. So yes, I appreciate this being like my first time. Look, I don't know what other people have done. The Amazon, just the willingness to work and give the appreciation. So yes, I would recommend it. But I'm pretty sure I'm not the most consistent person, but I think that's probably the hardest thing you probably deal with from your authors and your clients, getting the content correct, getting the content right. And I would say working with you has been very good, phenomenal. And I see why you're doing what you're doing, and I look to be on that same path because you got a good thing going on with your company, Kelly. I'm very proud of a fellow West Sider doing what they're doing at this point,
Appreciate that,
knowing
man.
where we come from and everything. So I'm very happy about what you're doing.
Most definitely, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, man. But no, man, you wasn't bad at all, man. I could tell you some stories for days. I would need 3 more hours to tell you some. You were a pleasure to work with, man. So We appreciate it. But yeah, man, this is only the beginning. So send the people my way. Anybody want to write a book, send them my way. And guess what? We send referral, man. So you refer somebody, I'll give you a referral fee, bro. So we
Yeah, I've been telling my best friend who travels a lot, and he loves to travel. I said, well, just write a book on, because I'm doing this process. He's like, I said, well, write a book on travel.
Yep.
Like this is what you experience when going to Dubai, Thailand, France, Italy. Write about your experiences going to these different countries.
Yep.
London. People
Yep.
don't want to hear it.
Yep.
And you throw some facts and figures in there, you're gonna be good.
Tell him this too, and tell him we can also put in. Man, I'm finna give away some free game, but cool. Whoever watched this, they're gonna get this. Tell him if he does write a book about travel, we know how to put in QR codes where people can scan, where he get affiliate commissions for recommending the places that he been to. So we know how to do all of that. So just tell him, hit me up. I'm the guy.
Wow. That's some next level
For
stuff
the
right
for the
there.
travel agents, whoever he uses for the plane tickets, whatever, we can embed all of that stuff, QR codes and everything, where he gets paid
In the physical book?
in the physical book. So anytime somebody
Wow.
scan that QR code and books a flight, or scan that QR code, books an adventure, we can make it sure he gets paid for that. So tell him to hit me up.
Unbelievable.
So yeah, man.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna tell him that.
So yeah, so cool, man. I appreciate you so much, my brother. I got to get to my daughter's play or something, whatever she's doing. But man, appreciate you so much. Let me know if you need anything.
I appreciate the time, Kelly. Keep it up. The good work.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, you too.